Okay, let's move further now. I'm sharing with you the logical flow of things we have done till now and how we are going to proceed further as far as advanced Excel sessions are concerned, right? So, sharing with you the entire process, or I may say the entire flow chart of how we are proceeding further. Okay, so till now, if you can recall it a bit, my friends, we completed the basics of Excel in which we try to understand the screen layout, in which we try to get into the very basic aspects of it, the how the formatting looks like, how this entire worksheet looks like, how many worksheets are there, such sort of things we had completed. After that, after completion of the basics, I think we moved to the charts. So we now know that how to represent our data in a graphical format in creative manner so that it becomes easy for the person who is able to see that particular thing. Then we move to pivot charts and pivot tables for systematic summarization of the data. If you can recall it a bit, pivot charts and pivot tables also we had done. Then based on pivot charts, pivot table and few other basic functions, we tried to prepare one dynamic dashboard which was interactive, which was changing the thing as per the requirement of us. So dashboard preparation by using the pivot chart, pivot table as well as the slicer option we have completed. Then if you can recall it a bit, we have done the conditional functions. So conditional functions which starts with if, and in if as well we have come to know now that how to use that if, what is the syntax of that if function, how to use the nested if, how to use two or more ifs putting together in the same syntax, how can we use other functions in the if syntax, if we take the example of the VLOOKUP or something. Then we had done with VLOOKUP, and HLOOKUP was pending to be done from our side, right? So the logical flow that we have adopted till now is that we have taken the knowledge of the conditional functions, where I say the logical requirement is there, where you will have to frame some logical sequencing, and some visualization aspects as well we have covered there, right? That how to present the data, how to look it beautiful, how to make it look beautiful, you know how to present it graphically well. So let's complete this H lookup which is pending to be done. And before that, I would like to say to all of you that some people were having the queries that, sir, whether there would be any mid-semester examination again for the advanced Excel. No, there won't be any mid-semester examination for the advanced Excel. There will be only a one final examination, and that is going to be the MCQ test, right? And that MCQ test will be testing every concepts we have done till now. Another question which people may raise is that, sir, how to refer all the thing we have done till now? So F1 is the best material we have available in the Excel. Please put it in the back of your mind. So if you press the F1 there, and whatever the function you are searching, say you are searching for VLOOKUP, just search it over there, and including the example, including all sort of a thing which is required to frame the VLOOKUP syntax, the meaning of each and every argument we have in the VLOOKUP syntax will be amazingly explained over there. There is absolutely no need to refer any other material than this F1, where you can find every function. Just type whatever the function for which you want the details over there and press search button, and you would have the details along with the example and a pro forma data. So that is one thing. That really does not mean that I'll not be able to share, that I'll not be sharing with you some of the shortcuts, some of the books that will be shared in some days. If you could just give me during this mid-semester examination, the everything related to the material of advanced Excel will be shared with you. And after this, where we are leading to, very important one. Uh, Once that is done, HLOOKUP is done, then we will come to the domain related functions. So when I speak about the domain related functions, so there can be statistics, there can be accounting, then can be finance, uh, there can be mathematics. So various functions are there in the Excel which are related to these domains that we are going to see one by one, step by step, hadu hadu. There are certain other domains as well if you take marketing or the HR, but they do not have the specific numerical functions of them, right? Because those subjects are more of conceptual understanding in nature. Other functions which other subjects which requires some practical exercises would be having the specific functions. For statistics and research methodology, we have amazing functions in Excel which can solve your work like anything. For accountancy as well, we have some really good functions to find the depreciation, for various other calculations in the accounting. For finance, we have hell lot of functions there. If you'll just look at the list of functions which I have shared with all of you in this Excel file, no, it would be quite an amazing for you, surely. For mathematics, we are not going to go into the very, very deep aspects of mathematics. Obviously, very few one, which would be required by you in various aspects of your job or professions that you will be selecting, we are going to cover. For marketing and HRM, when it comes to the data, there can be application of marketing or HRM data because there is no functions, or I may say the numerical exercises or equations which are related to marketing or HRM, because those subjects are not of such nature. So we can just take the data which are related to those domains, and based on that we can work upon, right? So if we try to include the research over here, no, in the domain of marketing and HRM, then there can be some role which can be played by the Excel, where again some statistics functions can be used, for some data summarization function can be used, for some statistical research methodology function can also be used. So the first domain that we are going to cover today is the finance, and later on we will move to each and every other domains one by one. I have shared one file with all of you. You would just give me a confirmation through the chat box that you have downloaded that file. Please give me the confirmation through the chat box that you have that file. And before that, I would also explain the HLOOKUP. So just give me a confirmation so that I can move ahead, that you are there with me till now. It's not coming in the form of Excel. Miss Bhavini, you can download it from the WhatsApp group as well. If it is not possible from the Google Classroom, if you are facing some problems there, then please download it from the WhatsApp group. Okay, shall I assume the yes of other students? Still, if some of your friends haven't joined, please inform them, because today's session is gonna be very important one as far as the foundation is concerned for the finance functions. Otherwise, we'll have to, go through with the recorded lectures and all. Okay, fine. Sharing with you this file. Everyone should be able to see this. Okay. So let's try to see that what is the requirement of this data, first of all. Here in the master data, you have the employee ID, name, surname, and department of all those people. And then in the secondary data, you have something where you want to derive the data again. And that data is below that too. Now, I'm sure that you people do not have this data right now. There is no need to type as well, because we are not going to take much time over here, just 5 minutes of explanation. And then we are going to the finance function only. For the practice and exercise, I'm going to share this with you after this lecture. Do not worry. Now, if you try to see that data is arranged in horizontal manner as far as the employee IDs are concerned. And in a horizontal line, we have the first name, surname, and departments of various employee IDs written. Now we want the data over here where first name, surname, and department of these people shall be automatically fetched by the Excel. And the problem is that if we'll try to fetch it automatically by the Excel, then we'll have to use either H lookup or V lookup. So my first question to all of you, can you just give me an idea that whether we should use the H lookup or V lookup in this situation?
H lookup.
Okay, what is the reason behind it?
Because uh, the heading, the employee ID are horizontally.
Here the
Sorry,
We
employee,
we
employees
want
are
data horizontal manner.
but hmm.
okay. But here in this employee IDs are vertically given in the secondary data. See, why
No,
can't
in
we?
master data it is given vertically,
Okay, in master data, sir, it is
and
horizontal.
headings are given horizontally.
Okay, got your point. So I should not see the secondary data, but I should go with the master data. In that, I should check that my employee IDs are whether horizontally given or vertically given. Is it what you are trying to say?
Yes,
Okay, others may give their opinions if they want to. What should I use? Why? And you people are using a very generalized language. You know, the data is horizontally arranged. What do you mean by the data? I need the one specific name of one parameter which is horizontally arranged. Okay, so everyone, please put it in the back of your mind that H lookup is used when the employee ID, or I may say the primary key, the key which is common between the two data, the T which is common between the two data is horizontally arranged in the master data. It's not about the secondary data. Please put it in the back of your mind, my dear fellows and fellows. That is horizontally arranged in the master data from where we want to get the data. अपन के पंडित जी कैसे है वो पंडित जी के हिसाब से हम करते हैं. सर पंडित जी माने कौन इधर? पंडित जी माने कि the one who is doing the settlement between the bride and groom over here, who is trying to meet, who is trying to, you know, uh, keep this bride and groom together. He is the one who is the middle key party, and middle key party in this case is the employee ID, because employee ID is something which is the common key between the two and from which I will be finding the data, right? So in other language we call it Panditji. Okay, now Panditji is there horizontally or vertically in the master data? Sir, it is horizontally, so that's why we use the H lookup. So equal to H lookup. Okay, let me use the magnifier so that you get every minute details there. So H lookup in bracket, the first thing is required is the lookup value. Now can someone tell me what is the lookup value in this case?
employee ID.
Very true. Whether I should select it over here or in the master data?
Here, from this
Yes,
table.
true. So here in this table, you should select the lookup value, then press comma. So you get the table array. Now, once you meet Panditji, then Panditji would be taken to the home from where you want to take the bride or groom away. Okay, as per the system set by the society, it would be the bride over there. So let me select the table array, which is the home of the bride. And I have selected this entire table array. Now we can press comma to go to the next parameter. Then instead of column index number in the VLOOKUP, it gives us the row index number. So sir, रो इंडेक्स नंबर कौन सा आएगा? एक आएगा, दो आएगा, तीन आएगा कि चार आएगा? कौन बताएगा मुझे?
Two.
अच्छा, कौन कितने लोग हैं कि दो बोल रहे हैं और कितने लोग हैं कि जिनको लगता है कि नहीं सर दो नहीं तीन आना चाहिए? किसी और का कोई ओपिनियन? 2 क्यों आना चाहिए भैया, कोई बताएगा मुझे? Why we should put 2?
Because it is second row in table.
But
In
see,
table array. Second row in table array.
okay, so if you try to calculate this from here, 1, 2, and 3, so it's a third row, no, from the starting.
But of table array. Of the table. Of the
So
data.
okay, so should we consider this row index number in the table array or from the first one? I'm not aware about it. Can someone tell me? Whether I should start counting right from the first row or from the selected table array?
Selected table array.
Okay, so I'm trying to confuse the students too much, but they are not getting. Oops. So there would be 2. Absolutely correct. Why? Because the selection is something from which you should count your number of rows. Excel does not know that which number of row is there, but from the selection, it will ask you that in which row you have this data. The first name is there in the second row of the selected data. That's why I put say 2 over there, beta. Then comma. Then I can put true or false. In this case, I want the exact match. That if the employee ID is exactly matched as it is, the way it is there right now, it must be here too. Then only I want to match it, so I'll write false over there, closing the bracket, and the spelling of false was wrong. The spelling of false was false. Oops. And it's true, spelling of false was false only. F-A-L-S-E. Closing the bracket, pressing the enter. And I am not required to do it again and again, just copy and paste it to other cells. And everyone should be surprised to see that we will have the answers of each and every employee IDs, and here we have the answer. Why didn't we
Sir,
hear
it
me?
will not come. We have not fixed the table array.
अरे वाह वाह, अरे वाह वाह, कैसे फिक्स करना बेटा बताओ?
We have to select the table array and F4. Yes, $sign F4.
ओके, तो भैया सर सिलेक्ट करना होता है तब आपको है ना रेंज फिक्स करनी होती है, तो मैं बोला कैसे करनी होती है रेंज फिक्स? यहाँ पे देखो G2 to K5 है सिलेक्शन, तो नीचे वाले में डबल क्लिक करते हैं ना अपन, तो वहां पे G3 to K6 हो गया। तो भाई तूने कैसे G2 को चेंज कर दिया मेरी परमिशन के बिना? मेरा टेबल अरे है वो फिक्स्ड है, उधर से ही डेटा लेना है, उस रेंज को हमें शिफ्ट नहीं करना है। तो G और 2 दोनों के बीच में जाके डाइवोर्स करेंगे बाय प्रेसिंग F4, और K और 5 दोनों का भी डाइवोर्स करेंगे बाय प्रेसिंग F4, so that we have the $sign inserted there now, pressing enter. Now you can copy and paste it to other cells, and here we have the answers of first name. The same way, the same formula you will insert for surname and department too. But instead of 2 as a row index number, you would put 3 for surname and 4 for department. You may see.
Sir,
Yes.
It will work if we stretch it vertically. Sorry, horizontally.
What? I didn't get your question. फिर से बताओ बेटा.
And if we stretch that formula vertically.
So instead of HLOOKUP, if you try to use VLOOKUP.
No, not like that. If we stretch that first name formula in surname.
Here, won't come.
Will it work?
It won't work, no, because then employee ID will get shift, no, check it. Because now for employee ID, it has taken H9. Because that is also getting changed, no, when you copy and paste the data. And here for employee ID, it has taken I9. I9 is this surname cell. So if you want to do that, then you will have to fix this row as well. That is G9. So I'm fixing that too now. So I'm pressing F4. Right, now if you copy over there horizontally like this, then here you may have to change the row from 2 to 3 you can do.
Yes.
And here you may do from 3 to 4. Right? So both the ways you have. which way is more suitable to you, you can do with that. I do not have any problem in that. But if you copy this horizontally, no, then you will have to lock the two ranges. One is that employee ID range, another one is this table array range. So it's better to copy it vertically, just to avoid our, too much of work we do. So good. So we could complete this table, and here we can use the H lookup. You people are aware about it now, and I would circulate this file as well for your practice. And today, without wasting much of time, let's move to the finance function now. And my dear fellas and fellies, I tell you how simple it's going to be when you will try to use this finance function over here in the Excel. No, that really does not require any sort of technical knowledge of finance. Without that, you will be able to do this. Just a basic understanding of the question, that what is the demand in the question. Try to use the syntax of those particular functions in the Excel, and you would have the answers. So the first worksheet we have is the task FV. Everyone should go into that worksheet along with me. And now you will start doing it along with me. So here we have the first question. Everyone will try to read this. I am sure some people would be like, sir, यहाँ पे तो आंसर दिए हुए ही है, तो दिए हुए ही है तो आपको क्या करना है, निकाल देना है. और कुछ कुछ छाने बच्चे क्या करेंगे कि वहां पे डबल क्लिक करके पहले फॉर्मूला देख लेंगे, फिर जाके डिलीट करेंगे. मेरे को मालूम है ना, सबको जानता हूँ. Let's start reading the question, and then we'll move to the FP of single cash flow here first. We have Mr. Virat Kohli, who wants to invest 10 crores of rupees in one project of creating a chain of gymnasiums across the India. He expects the return of 12% on yearly basis. What will be the future value after 5 years? Now, this is something which is compounding in nature. When I say compounding in nature, that means it's interest on interest, or I may say return on return. So if you have the value of 100 rupees and you get 12% return on that, so 12 rupees you get, so now it becomes 112. So again, the 12% you get, no, will not be on 100, it will be on 112. So it would be 12% of 112, and that will be added now. So it's interest on interest. The amount which is getting accumulated, on that you will again get the interest. That's why it's called compounding in nature. So here, the future value we are supposed to find, which is obviously compounding one. So the formula of FV for single transaction as well as for annuity, both are same. Every function in Excel start with the sign of equal to. Everyone would start it along with me. Then you press FV. Then you open the bracket. And once you open the bracket, it asks you that what is the rate. Now rate in this case will be 12%, because his expectation is pretty much clear. If compounding would have been quarterly, then rate would have been divided by 4. If compounding would have been monthly, then rate would have been divided by 12. If compounding would have been 6 monthly, then the rate would have been divided by 2. Here in this case, it's yearly. So there is no need to divide 12%. It would be 12% as it is. So writing 12%, comma. Then it asks the number of periods. For how many number of periods the compounding will take place? May I have the answer from the students, please, here?
5.
Very true, as simple as that. It's given straight away in the question itself, comma. PMT is amount of installment you pay when there is an annuity. Annuity माने के the series of cash flows are occurring in each and every year. You are investing something. In each and every period you are investing something. Period Period can be yearly, can be 6 monthly, can be quarterly, can be monthly. Here in this case, it's yearly. And one more thing, it's not annuity at all. It's the single transaction. Virat Kohli will be investing only for the one time. He's not going to invest in each and every year. So it's not an annuity. So there has to be the PMT amount. So PMT amount shall be 10 crores. And you people will not be making the mistake in min days, because if you'll be making the mistake in min days, probably you will get the min days in the examination. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then pressing the comma. Oh, no, sorry. PMT will be zeros. I'm really sorry for that. Comma. Then in the PV, there would be 10 crores. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now, PMT is taken as zero because it's not an annuity. It's not an installment that we are paying. We are not paying any installment. First of all, please put it in the back of your mind. It's not something which is annuity. It is not something which we are making on every annual basis. It's just a one-time investment, single cash flow. So PMT will be zero. PV is 10 crores, comma. Then it asks you that whether the investment was made at the end of the year or it was made at the beginning of the period. If you do not do anything, then it will automatically take zero. The functions which are there in the bracket in the syntax, no, PV and type, the interpretation of that bracket is that they are optional. They are not required. Even if you don't put that, they will give you the answers. But here in this case, we do not have any PMT. So that's why we are forced to put the PV amount. Else, if we would have that PMT amount, which is, for the annuity, then PV amount will not be required because that's in a bracket, means optional. But optional ke andar, it will assume something. Here in this case, the last syntax we are there into the type. If you will not put anything, it will assume zero, that your investment was made at the end of the period. But if you put 1, then it would assume that the investment was made at the beginning of the period. In period, in this case, is yearly. So I'm writing 0. No information is given to you, so we assume that it is made at the end of the period. Closing the bracket. This is how the syntax looks like. You may see that. Then pressing the enter. And some people would be like, sir, it's an error. It's not an error. Please do not speak the language of layman. It is just the text which is not getting fitted into this box. You can increase the width from here. And here we have the FP of single cash flow. Check it. And some students would be like, sir, it's in a minus. But we do not want. Yes, we do not want it in the minus. Now, Excel considers these cash flows as cash outflows. So that's why it gives you by default automatically answer in minus. Now, sir, what if I want the positive answer? तो फिर हमें Excel के साथ जुगाड़ करना पड़ेगा, खिलवाड़ करना पड़ेगा. क्या करना पड़ेगा? खिलवाड़ करना पड़ेगा. तो Excel के साथ खिलवाड़ कैसे करते हैं? हम है ना, ये 10 crore rupees of है. Before that, we put the sign of minus. Oops, so smart we are. Then if we press enter, we have the answer, which is positive now. Now that is called the Indian Desi Kinda Jugaad. Obviously not Jugaad. If you put minus sign over there, it will give you the positive answer. Right. Now, once it is done, you may give the confirmation in the chat box that you are there with me for the first task. Then let's move to the second one, next one. May I have the confirmation over there in the chat box, please, everyone? From Miss Ayushi, we have got. Then I guess from Miss Bhavini too, Mr. Anand, Miss Charmi. Mr. Liai, Miss Ria, Mr. Ayush. Good to see that from Avish too. We have got Farhin, Bhavesh. Good, good, very good. Others, I'm assuming that they would be doing it along with me. Why should I think negatively? I would think positively only. Okay. Then we have the second one here. Let's try to read this question. Mr. My name is Khan wants to invest 1 lakh rupees on quarterly basis at the end of the each quarter in one mutual fund at 18% expected rate of return. Okay, so he's going to invest at the end of the each quarter. So that tells you that this is an annuity. This is not the single transaction. He is going to invest in the series of cash flows. Yes or no, sir? Yes, sir. What will be his fund after 10 years? Now, this is the annuity. That is the first thing we can establish. Formula is visible to you over there. Many of the smart fellas have already seen that formula. Let me delete that. Some would be like, sir, हमारे पास भी लिखा हुआ है H. तो लिखा हुआ H तो वो सिर्फ रेफरेंस के लिए है, ठीक है? उसमें से यूज नहीं करना, अपने को डिलीट कर देना. मारो डिलीट, चलो जल्दी. और किसी ने देखना नहीं फॉर्मूला. फॉर्मूला देखे मैंने डिलीट कर दो, चलो चलो. Okay, so now equal to we have FV. Now formula will remain same whether it is annuity or it's a single transaction. In the Excel, do not get confused. Comma, it will ask that what is the rate. Can someone tell me what rate I should take?
18%. No, sir, divided by 4. 18 divided by 4.
Very true. 18 divided by 4, because Mr. My name is Khan is going to invest on quarterly basis. So there are 4 quarters in each year. So we need to divide the rate by 4, right? Comma. Then NPER stands for the number of periods for which the compounding will take place. May I have the NPER from everyone, please?
Sir, it will be 40 as it is quarterly.
Okay, anyone having a different opinion? Okay, who else think that it would be 40? Would anyone like to give the explanation behind this 40? Okay. So my students have the fear of being judged, which shouldn't be there at all. So number of periods should be 40. That's perfectly right answer. When you're right, be confident, every one of you. Why 40? Because 10 multiplied by 4. Now this must be put into the back of your mind that number of periods should be multiplied by the frequency of compounding, and the rate shall be divided by the frequency of compounding. As simple as that. Comma. We have the PMT. Now in this case, PMT will come into the picture because this is the annuity. PMT stands for the installment amount. We may just make it as payment. That would be 1 lakh rupees. Comma. Now here PV becomes optional. If you do not put PV there, that's perfectly fine. Excel does not require the PV. Let me put 0, comma. If you have the PMT, then PV will not be required. If you do not have PMT, then PV will be required. Comma, and then we have the type. Can someone tell me what will be the type in this case?
0.
Very true. That's an ordinary annuity invested at the end of the each period. Closing the bracket, pressing the enter. और हम क्या करना भूल गए? क्या करना भूल गए अपन?
माइनस रखना भूल गए.
नेगेटिव साइन.
यस, और हमारी भाषा में खिलवाड़ करना भूल गए एक्सेल के साथ. तो चलो एक्सेल के साथ खिलवाड़ कर देते हैं. 1 लाख के आजू में जाके माइनस, pressing enter, and Excel would be like, oh my god, these people have got the solution for everything. We are smart, that's why. So now we have the third one. Everyone would do it. And once the third one is done, then you may put the confirmation in the chat box that it is done, giving you uninterrupted 2 to 3 minutes. And everyone who have the FV value written over there would delete this. कुछ कुछ लोग देख के डिलीट करेंगे, कुछ कुछ लोग तो उससे भी शान है, देख के फिर उसका स्नैप लेके फिर डिलीट करेंगे. There is a problem with giving the uninterrupted 2 minutes, क्योंकि बीच बीच में कुछ विकेट लुढ़क जाएंगी, कुछ गिल्ली यहाँ निकल जाएंगी. बट कोई बात नहीं, आई नीड टू टेक दैट रिस्क, रिस्क है तो इश्क है. May I have the answers, please? Those who have got it? Or you may just put dense or yes or something like that. That's fine. Once it is done, then you may put the confirmation. Let me delete all the hints. Okay, from Miss Ayushi, we have got the answer. Very good. Okay, let's try to understand the question well now, first of all. Now, Mr. Dhoni will start investing 1 crore rupees at the end of every 6 months, starting from the end of the 5th year at 15% per annum expected rate. What fund he will have after 12 years? After the 12 years, what will be the amount of fund that Mr. Dhoni would have? Now, please try to understand. He is not going to start the investment right now. He will start the investment from the end of the 5th year. So let's try to understand that how many total number of periods would be there. First of all, as far as the completed number of years are concerned, we can at least establish that he has invested for 7 years, right? Once the 5th year would be over, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So those 7 years, he has invested on bi-monthly or 6-monthly basis. So that means 6 months occurs for 2 times in a year. So 7 multiplied by 2, so we have 14 there. Now this is not the only thing we have. The sum also says that it was invested in the last 6 months of the 5th year too. So there won't be just 14 number of periods, there would be plus 1, 15 number of periods. For the completed 7 years, got it, sir. But at the end of the 5th year as well, there was an investment made, yes or no? So there would be 15 number of periods. Okay, now we can start solving this question. Another thing, this is the question of deferred annuity. And deferred annuity, the formula for the deferred annuity for for annuity, for FV would remain same. The normal FV and the deferred FV, both formula will remain same. But yes, for PV, the formula for the deferred annuity would be different. Why it is deferred annuity? Because he is not going to invest anything in the 4.5 years. In the 5th year, that is on the last 6 months, he would invest at the end of that particular 6 month. So for 4.5 years, there is absolutely no investment from his side. That's why that period is called the deferred period. The period in which you do not make any investment is called the deferred period. And future value के अंदर deferred period does not make any difference. Does not make any difference if it is there at the earlier time, right? So let's see, equal to, if, sorry, not if, FV, opening the bracket, then first thing is the rate. May I have the rate please from all of you? 15% divided by 2 के 6 आएगा, 6 मंथली है ना बेटा? 2 आएगा कि 6 आएगा?
6.
देखो
Two.
मेरे जाल
Two. No.
फंस गए मेरे झाल में फंस गए बच्चे, मैंने कंफ्यूज किया और हो भी गए। अरे कॉन्फिडेंट 2 आएगा भैया। 2 इसलिए आएगा क्योंकि 1 साल में 6 महीने 2 बार ही चाहते हैं, तो 2, 6 months will come only for 2 times in a year, that's why 2. वैसे देखने जाओ तो क्वार्टर के अंदर 3 महीने होते हैं, तो हम 3 नहीं लेते, क्वार्टर में 4 लेते हैं। देखो, क्योंकि 4 number of times quarter will come in 1 year. Some people would be like, quarter would be having the 4 months. No. Okay, so number of periods would be 15, comma, PMT. PMT would be 1 crore, but along with the kilowatt. So let me put the kilowatt first, and then I would write 1 crore. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, comma. Then present value will not be required because we have got the PMT, comma, and the type. And the type shall be 0 because at the end of the 6th month, Mr. Dhoni will invest in each and every period. So he's going to invest in the end of the period. So that's why 0. Closing the bracket, pressing the enter, and you have the future value of NUT. And what would be your investment amount? Can someone tell me how can we calculate that? Just run a very simple basic logic. How can we calculate the investment amount, sir? May we have the answers? कोई नहीं? अरे बाप रे, कोई नहीं?
14 crore.
14? चलो नजदीक तो हो। कोई मॉडिफाई करना चाहेगा आंसर को? किसी ने अनम्यूट करके म्यूट कर दिया, सुनाई भी नहीं दिया। कोई मॉडिफाई करना चाहेगा 14 करोड़ के आंसर को? But it would be 15
Sorry,
crores.
sorry. Plus 1 means 15 crore. Yes.
Very true. So you were nearby that answer. Why it would be 15? Because see, he has met the 15 installments, not 14. For 7 completed years, he had
He
got the installment. But for the end of
he
the
also started at 5th year ending.
very true. So that's why there was 15. So 15 crores would be the amount. So 15 multiplied by 1 crore, so it would be 15 crores. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And the remaining amount which Mr. Dhoni has got is the part of his interest. So investment, sorry, FV minus investment, so it is interest. Such a humongous amount of interest he has earned, 11 crores, 11 lakhs, 83,647. Why not? He is Mr. Dhoni, Captain Cool, he can earn it. Fine. So everyone would do it. And once it is done, then they may leave the confirmation in the chat box. They can notify me so that I do not go into the FOMO zone. Okay, from Mr. Avish, we have got the confirmation. From Mr. Anand too. From Miss Charmi as well.